Welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking a really deep dive into some profound spiritual and psychological relief found within our source material. We all go through those moments where the weight of life just feels totally unbearable. Whether it's a physical pain that just won't fade, deep psychological distress, or even just those daily worries that feel like actual mountains on our shoulders. So our goal today isn't just to recite a bunch of information at you. We're going to uncover exactly how these specific texts are designed to literally shift your psychological state and give you a renewed sense of hope.
Okay, let's dive into this. Can a single word end your suffering? Now, I know at first glance that might sound like a massive exaggeration, especially if you're completely worn out by things like chronic illness, mounting debt, or just crushing stress. As humans, we kind of naturally assume that long, complex problems always need long, complex solutions, right? But the source material we're exploring today completely flips that whole equation on its head. It really challenges our limited human logic by offering a spiritual alternative that relies on absolute simplicity and infinite power.
Section 1. The Heart of Quranic Healing. Here we'll look at how the source frames Surah Yaseen as a truly unique remedy for the believer.
Looking at this definition slide, the text refers to Surah Yaseen as the heart of the Quran. And as the source enthusiastically points out, absolutely everything has a heart. The heart is the engine, right? It's the center of pulse in life. So, following that exact same logic, if the Quran has a heart, then this heart is also the core of healing. It's not just a collection of verses to read, it's a centralized hub radiating physical and spiritual recovery. When you engage with it, you are directly connecting to the beating heart of healing itself.
He gives life to bones while they are decayed. Let's just slow down a bit here. The source draws our attention to a really stunning core point. Decayed bones are those that have completely crumbled. They've turned to literal dust, they are entirely gone. Yet, the text highlights the Creator's ability to bring life back from absolute nothingness. Think about it. If the great Creator is capable of completely rebuilding bones that have turned to dust, isn't He fully capable of repairing a flaw in your body's cells or curing a stubborn illness? This spiritual logic totally shatters that barrier of the impossible in a suffering person's mind.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact nature of the earthly challenges we face. We're talking about mountain debt that steals your sleep, chronic illnesses that seem to defy modern medicine, a lack of sustenance that just causes constant, nagging anxiety, and even those deeply complex, seemingly unsolvable family issues at home. The source emphasizes that these texts aren't just dealing with the afterlife. No, they are a direct mercy and a practical remedy for our daily, grounded suffering. They serve as a soothing balm for this exact list of pains we endure every single day.
Moving on to Section 2, the power of Be. This is where we shift the energy to highlight how absolute divine capability counters our human helplessness.
Let's take a moment and just pause in reverence to this profound verse. His command, when He intends a thing, is only that He says to it, be, and it is. The source focuses intensely on this specific verse, framing it as the ultimate antidote to despair. Just imagine that everything your complex problem requires, everything your long-term illness needs, is simply divine will manifested in one single word, be. This concept is meant to immediately alter your mental state. It's meant to pull you right out of the darkness of helplessness and into the light of absolute capability.
If you take a look at the contrast right here, on one side we see human despair, manifested through years of chronic illness, closed medical doors, and exhausting efforts that just yield no results. But on the exact opposite side, we find divine capability, an instantaneous change brought about by a single word. The text asserts that God's absolute power literally costs Him nothing. There's no shortage of resources, it doesn't require time, and it requires zero physical effort on His part. The massive shift from despair to instantaneous change requires absolutely nothing more than the command, be.
And this whole idea is completed with this concluding verse. So exalted is He, in whose hand is the realm of all things, and to Him you will be returned. The source interprets this as a massive, sweeping declaration of tranquility. When you truly realize that the keys to the entire universe, the treasures of the earth, people's sustenance, your health, and your very life are all in the hands of this great sovereign, that realization naturally brings profound inner peace. I mean, why worry when the one holding the realm of all things is the very one you bring your needs to?
Section 3. The secret of number 7. Now we're moving into the actionable application phase, looking at the practical methodology provided in the source.
So why the number 7 specifically? When we're advised to repeat these verses with the intention of healing, why is this particular number referenced so frequently? Is it just random? Well, let's explore the answer provided by the source, which actually ties us directly into the very fabric of the cosmos.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this simple number, 7. The source explains that the prophet frequently used this exact number in prayers for healing. He would place his hand on the area of pain and repeat the prayer 7 times. So repetition here isn't just seen as some boring routine, it's actually about tuning into deeply cosmic and spiritual frequencies established by the Creator.
Just consider this rapid succession of cosmic connections, 7 circumambulations around the Kaaba. The universe around us consists of 7 heavens and 7 earths. When prostrating, it's done on exactly 7 bones. Even the Quran itself was revealed in 7 huruf. The source immerses us in these examples to prove that the number 7 is a repeating cosmic code. When you repeat verses of healing 7 times, you're effectively aligning the rhythm of an ailing or worried soul with the flawless, harmonious rhythm of the greater universe. How amazing is that?
So how do we actually apply this practically? Well, there are 3 simple, clear steps derived directly from the source material. Step 1 is deep reflection. Don't just read mindlessly. Read with a humble heart that truly grasps the meaning of be and it is. Step 2 is the intention of healing. Direct your reading toward the specific goal and have absolute certainty that you will be healed. And step 3, repeat 7 times. You do this to cement this absolute certainty into your subconscious and your soul. They're incredibly simple steps, but according to the source, their impact is absolutely monumental.
Section 4. Certainty. Half the healing journey. This is where we connect the spiritual methodology we just discussed directly to your medical and psychological mindset.
As you can see here, the source presents a brilliant idea that seamlessly merges spirituality with actual medical logic. The healing process is essentially divided into 2 equal halves. The first 50% is the actual cure, so the medicine, the physical treatment, all of that. But the other half, which is absolutely critical and represents the remaining 50%, is trust in healing. The text argues that without this psychological and spiritual half, the entire healing process remains fundamentally incomplete.
Trust in healing is half the cure. Let me say that again. Trust in healing is half the cure. The source explains that even from a purely medical standpoint, a patient's psychological state and their trust in their own recovery play a massive pivotal role. Even if modern medicine has totally given up on your case, your internal certainty that God is capable of changing your condition with the word be is the single most crucial step on your road to recovery. That kind of certainty reduces stress, it boosts the immune system, and it quite literally opens the doors to divine mercy.
So the crucial point is, we are talking about the creator of the heavens and the earth, who is incapable of nothing, and who brings decayed, crumbled bones back to life with just a single word. This really brings our whole explainer full circle today, right back to those decayed bones we talked about at the very start. This is the absolute essence of Surah Yaseen, and it's the core mechanism of healing we've explored through the source material.
Finally, I want to leave you with this profound question to ponder. If the great Creator can revive completely decayed bones with a single word, is your current problem, whether it's an illness, a mounting debt, or just deep, overwhelming anxiety, truly too difficult to solve? The source strongly invites us to replace our despair with certainty and our anxiety with absolute trust. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I truly hope it provided you with a comforting, powerful new perspective.